Welcome back, everybody. Let's get after it.
The Black Knight satellite, which is this object that's still orbiting our planet today, that's on NASA.gov. It's listed as space junk. It weighs approximately an estimated 15 tons by them, not by me. And nobody will touch this thing because they don't know what it's doing. But over the years, people have picked up a signal from this, including Nikola Tesla, ancient Sumerian tablets. And Lil, he talks about the fact that he has this tablet, this crystal tablet that can see anything on any part of the world at any given time. That means he's got something connected to a satellite that's orbiting the planet. And so I connect that to the Black Knight satellite, but the signal has been deciphered by not only ham radio operators, but also an astronomer who wrote an article about it in Time magazine in 1960. And more recently, an NSA declassified document, which talks about this signal, that it points to Boötes constellation. The ham radio operators in the 1950s, it points to Boötes constellation. The astronomer in 1960, Boötes constellation. What's interesting there, you got 4 different sources coming up with the same exact location that this thing is sending or receiving some type of information from a constellation owned by a Sumerian god who says he has an all-seeing eye. I think that Black Knight satellite, or that object that's up there, is super ancient. It dates back to where Boötes was in the sky about 13,000 years ago. So it could be at least 13,000 years old based on star alignments. And it could be transmitting in real time updates on what's going on this planet with this abandoned seed colony we call Earth.
What do y'all think? Y'all think that Black Knight satellite is actually a satellite beaming that's spying on us? Hard for me to believe stuff like that, because this is just this guy's opinion. It's literally the epitome of a conspiracy theory. It's just his theory. Not a lot of data there to back it up other than these few newspaper articles, but interesting nonetheless.
Now watch and listen to this shit. This is crazy. Listen to it. It's in Alaska. Well, look at that shit. Look at Bigfoot. That's crazy. Let me know down in the comments. Do y'all believe this is real? That's crazy. Look at this shit. What the fuck? You see, he even had like a fang or fangs. That's crazy. Thank y'all for watching.
To me, that looks like a poorly made Bigfoot costume. It looks like a mascot with a movable jaw. That's it. I do want to point out, I get asked a lot about whether or not I believe in the flat Earth. I do not. I entertain the idea. I can't commit to it. I had some people get upset because I put a little decorative globe here and left a couple of comments saying, "Where's our representation?" So there you go. I got your representation too right there. So we got flat Earth and we got the globe. I got representation for everybody here.
So I'm in Alberta, Canada, and tonight we got an emergency alert that basically the sum of it is don't use power. If you do, we're gonna cut your power off. Feel free to screenshot it and read it for yourself. We're currently in a polar vortex. It's -36 with a wind chill of -43 where I'm at. They already cut my town's power off for about 2 hours early. This is exactly the reason that we bought a house with a fireplace. Maybe we'd have better luck if everybody bought a Tesla though, right?
-36 with a wind chill of -43, and you're not allowed to turn on your heat, or we're going to turn off your electricity. I don't know how you people in Canada are putting up with this stuff. Man, I would like to think here in this country there would be a revolt, but after seeing the way the pandemic panned out, don't have a lot of faith in that one.
I'm now the proud owner of a little Tesla tower. Here we go. Fluorescent light bulb still in its package. No wires, no nothing. Nikola Tesla, wireless transmission of electricity.
It's a fun little video. I don't believe that dude was found dead less than 24 hours later. They'd have his name and some articles up showing his obituary or a newspaper article about his death, whatever, I don't know. You could believe it if you want, but I don't buy it. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, I make a new one just like it every single day. It would be awesome if you'd hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow to join me.
Venturing into the woods all by yourself can sound like a good idea at first, but it may turn out to be a nightmare, a creepy adventure, which is the case with Erlo Brown, who went hiking all by himself in South Africa when all of a sudden this happened.
I think we have found a perfect place to place the trail camera. So this trail running along here is literally the only entrance and exit for this entire valley. And you can see it's very narrow, so it's very easy to funnel the animals in one spot. You know exactly where they'll be walking. It's very dense around here. So I guess animals can walk wherever they want. They don't need the trail. But I'm almost 100% convinced we'll catch some animals on this trail. Just look at how nice that is. I just have to find a good spot to place the camera.
He was trying to find a tree to place his trail cam when all of a sudden he hears an unknown sound. The only thing is, it's not a human nor an animal.
So maybe a tree. I reckon this tree could maybe work. Although that's going to be very obvious. Maybe if we find something that's a little bit further into the tree line, so it's better hidden, this could perhaps work. No idea what that was. That was not an animal. I think I'm going to leave.
Hearing somebody claim that that's not an animal that made that noise doesn't mean it wasn't an animal that made that noise. It just didn't sound like it to him. He couldn't place the animal.
This is going to be the new obsession. I feel like it's trending super high. Who knows if there's any truth to it, but a friend of ours who will remain nameless went there.
Yeah.
Got to go on a cool experience, trip, etc. And he said a couple interesting things. He said the mountains looked eerily pointy and four-sided. He said way more mountainous than he thought it would be. I think the illusion made from looking at maps and watching penguins is
By the way, you can see
flat
mountains. You can see mountains on the Orontius Phineas map version.
Oh, is that what the little etchings
around the
are?
edges there?
Interesting.
Those are mountains.
Now, he also said this. He said a couple things. He said there is a pact with every country that has a slice of it that they will not dig or remove any minerals from Antarctica. And he even said that a scientist was there, said to them, World War III will not start until one of these countries breaks that pact. They are clearly protecting or preserving something that may or may not be under, I believe it's 3 miles, Mark was saying earlier, at its thickest of ice. Now,
in my opinion, World War III will pop off way before then, but there's definitely something to that. There's absolutely something being hidden from us that's in Antarctica. Whether it's something nefarious or not, I have no idea. It just makes no sense at all that we fight about everything. All these countries, we all fight about everything, but we all agree that no one's going to do any digging in Antarctica. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't add up.
Originals, raise your hands. Where are my people at that have been following me since the Doomsday Map? Because I've got a video for you. And if you're new here, a long time ago I made a video about the Forbes Doomsday Map, but buckle up, because I've got a new one. So the other day I'm like, oh, old Zucky is building a big old compound in Kauai with NDAs and the whole 9 yards, and no one's allowed to talk about it or they get, just kidding, they get fired, I don't know. Sorry, my phone just keeps trying to pass out from all the shock. Gotta keep setting it back up here. Anyhow, Zuckerberg is really building a compound in Kauai with NDAs, that's not a lie. And I'm like, there's no way that Hawaii was on the Doomsday Map, okay? But it is. And then I'm like, what are the other billionaires up to? And does it coincide with the Doomsday Map? Well, we've got Bezos building that big-ass clock in a mountain in guess where? West Texas. I'm like, okay, but what's our boy Billy up to? From what I read, he's out buying up all the farmland. Well, what happens if we take where old Billy is buying all this property and overlay it on the Doomsday Map? Let's do it. All right, here we go. You're like, but wait, look at California, right? Look at Louisiana. What? Let me show you something. So that overlay map isn't even completely up to date. And while you're thinking, okay, well, there was California and all these places in the water, if where I have marked is accurate to where his properties are for the most part, because he has literal properties sprinkled all over everywhere. I wish I was joking. Like, that map did not have where he has recently purchased property in South Georgia or in North Dakota. Hold on, I'm gonna zoom in on this part of the map right here. Because even though this is all in good fun, if this actually worked out to be a map of the future, he would have islands, because that's roughly, it's either here or here is roughly where his house in California is, one of them. I mean, this guy owns so much stuff. I had to stop marking the map because I was getting so tired of looking up how much this man owns. That huge new smart city is right about there in Arizona, which would be, what, the new beachfront California? And with some islands out here. And then in Nebraska, he's got a lot over here. He's got it sprinkled over here. He's got property in Wyoming, Colorado. Like, I'm not lying. Everywhere I started to look up his property would literally be like beachfront property, if this map was accurate. And like I said, this is all in just good fun. The one in Louisiana was the most questionable because it was so close to the Mississippi border that I'm like, that could end up in the water if this map was accurate. Or it could be waterfront property.
I don't think that what she's trying to do all this digging on is really worth looking into, because there's no way that that map is going to be completely accurate. That's just their best guesstimate.
Now, according to reports today, Ukraine has ordered over 50,000 uniforms for women to fight. And they're putting out nice propaganda pieces so you can see what it looks like to be a woman fighting in Ukraine. You can see the nice garb. This is what you'll get, ladies, in Ukraine. You know, you don't go to nightclubs anymore. But here's more women showing off their new Ukrainian women's fashions, getting ready for war. So this is what they'll be sending out. This is part of the propaganda that's being shared on social media. Women go fight in Ukraine because the men are all gone.
They're absolutely doing this because they have no men left. They have used up all of their young men, and then they used up all of the men that were left, and now they have nothing but women. And that's pretty sad. It's sad to see a country end up in this position, but, you know, they had an out at the beginning. They could have, if Zelensky hadn't listened to Boris Johnson, you know, they could have been out of this thing at the very start of it. That's what's so sad. They're just losing all their people.
Have you ever heard of a game called Werewolf?
No.
Everyone gets a piece of paper. It's either got villager written on it, but two have the word werewolf. Someone runs the game to make sure no one's cheating, and they go, okay, it's nighttime, everyone close your eyes. Werewolves choose someone to kill, and the werewolves go. They say, okay, everyone close your eyes, it's morning time, open them again. During the night, Francis was killed. There's then a conversation, and this is where it gets interesting, between all the villagers and the two werewolves over who the werewolves are. Then at the end of the day, the villagers have to decide who they're going to kill, and they say, well, we're going to kill Constantine. It's revealed by the person running the game, I'm afraid Constantine was a villager. And the game continues. The villagers win the game if they kill both werewolves. The werewolves win the game if they kill all but two villagers. And the werewolves usually win. The game was invented by a student of sociology in Russia who wanted to prove his thesis that an uninformed majority will always lose a battle of information against an informed minority. So that just shows when you have hidden information, you can completely manipulate a large group of people.
That's a pretty good explainer video to show us why it's so important for us to dig and find out what's being hidden from us and do all this digging that we do every day. It's fun to look at these videos and stuff. A lot of these I look at as thought games, thought experiments. To me, digging through this stuff and finding the flowers amongst the weeds of truth that are legit things that have been hidden from us, it's worth digging through all the mess, because it's very important to to find out what the actual truth is. And this is a clear, prime example of why it's so important. Because if you don't know what's going on around you, you're easy to control.
Y'all, this is the craziest story I've ever heard. Have y'all heard about Gary DeVore? He was a big Hollywood guy. He was a screenwriter. He wrote movies like Raw Deal, Time Cop. He dated Janet Jackson. And in 1997, he was working on a new movie. It was called The Big Steal. This movie was going to spill some crazy tea on some very important people. See, Gary had been working with the CIA. And his girlfriend said that the CIA was blowing up his phone the month before he was supposed to drop this movie script. And he was telling everyone that this movie that he was writing was going to reveal the real reason for the US invading Panama. He said that Panama's dictator at the time, Manuel Noriega, ran a honeypot, meaning that basically he would lure important people to his home, US senators, politicians, etc., and he would have a bunch of beautiful men and women there, substances, alcohol, whatever, and then he would secretly film them and use it as blackmail. So according to Gary DeVore, the US had just made up an excuse for invading Panama, but the real reason was that they wanted to get these videos and photos. He said that Noriega had a ton of blackmail on US politicians. So he had just finished this movie script, and then he went missing on the way to drop the script off. Then a year later, his car was found at the bottom of an aqueduct, and he was buckled up inside. His laptop containing the movie script was missing, and his hands were also missing. But you want to know the craziest part? In the trunk of his car were someone else's hands, and the coroner revealed that these hands were over 200 years old. What? And no one knows who these 200-year-old hands belong to. Is that not the sketchiest thing you ever heard?
I've never heard of Gary DeVore, but to say the least, those are some highly suspicious circumstances that he died under.
All right, this is a scary website. If you have an Alexa, a webcam, a security cam, a phone, an Xbox Connect, a computer, anything with a camera, I do not want to see you winding up on Showdown. Now, technically, every one of you is on Showdown because this site is literally a search engine for every device connected to the internet. Internet is big, but it's not that big. You can do a scan of the entire thing pretty fast. I say I don't want to see you on here, I mean literally. Because if your device is connected to the internet and it's not properly secured, people can literally see you on here. These are examples of people right now that accidentally made their security cameras public. Hackers use sites like Showdown to search for vulnerabilities like devices using their default passwords. Or Alexas that aren't secure because they haven't been updated in a while. So please set your devices up properly or someone will be watching you.
I'll be right back. I've got a couple things I've got to go unplug. Seriously, though, keep all your stuff up to date because people be spying.
All right, what's up, y'all? Y'all got to check out this next video. This man's like out in his field checking on his bees. And he notices something off, like, you know, you can see something out of the corner of your eye. Well, he notices this thing out there and just look what it is. It's absolutely terrifying. You see it out there? With horns, looking like a goat. But the funny thing is he don't own no goats. Now, I can only think of one thing that possibly could be. And that is truly, truly terrifying. At least to me it is. Look at that. That is a head with goat horns on it, people. Looking at him. Holy crap. Y'all have a nice day.
This furry movement is getting out of hand. I'm joking. Yeah, that looks like that dude knew somebody was going to be over there. That doesn't make any sense why anyone would be hanging out right there in this random field trying to scare this beekeeper, because that's the only thing that you would be doing if you were out there sticking your head out and you had fake horns on. You'd be trying to scare somebody. Oh, this just doesn't add up. Doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna guess that's a relative or a buddy of his over there with some fake goat horns on.
Over there. It's over there. It's over there. Is it lightning? No, that's me.
What the fuck? What the hell is that?
Yeah, everyone's doing the same thing. What the hell is that?
I don't know what this is, and I don't even have a guess, but I've seen like a dozen of these videos at this point. These crazy flashing, alternating colors in the sky. Does anyone have any idea what this could be? Leave me a comment down below and let me know.
Bam, we at McDonald's. Want to show y'all. You know when you walk into McDonald's, there's a warning that says certain foods and beverages sold or served here can expose you to chemicals including acrylamide in near fried baked foods and mercury in the fish, which are known to the state of California to cause cancer and birth defects and other reproductive harm. For more information, p65warning.ca.gov/restaurant. So if your ass get cancer or anything, they told your ass before. It's like a warning label for cigarettes, but for food. Yes, ma'am. Peace. And these are the facts.
All right, the mercury, McDonald's can't help because there's mercury in all of the fish. We've got a big problem with mercury in our fish. Any restaurant you go to is going to have that same issue. The chemicals, yeah, probably a problem with that. But, dude, why did you read the sign and warn us and film it to warn us about it and then keep walking in? Take your own advice. I haven't eaten at McDonald's in, I'd say, over 15 years. Just had a bad experience there. But still, I'm not eating that crap.
1,000 pounds. If there was one giant in the caves of Afghanistan, then I have to believe that there are more. People don't realize how tightly controlled the information is pertaining to the prehistoric past. It's one of the greatest cover-ups on Earth.
What we're actually dealing with down there is a series of ruins that were built by a group that crash landed there 55,000 years ago. And it was an extraterrestrial civilization that had originally lived on Mars. They are finding giant humanoid bodies in the ice. This is the origin of the story of the fallen angels in the Bible. These are the fallen angels.
Okay, I don't know if everybody's heard the story about the giant that was killed in Afghanistan, but that's what the first clip was about. And you see that, and first thing you think of, the Nephilim, and we're hearing about these, and we hear that there was an underground base at Area 51 at one time where they actually worked. The Nephilim worked with scientists and all these military guys. These are old testimonies from way back where people were talking about this. And then the second one is talking about Antarctica, and we've talked about Antarctica probably having frozen Nephilim and these beings that are there, and he's saying crash landed and being the fallen angels. Well, that would mean they crashed in spaceships, and this is just so far-fetched. So I want you guys to leave it in the comments and tell me what you think.
I'm curious about this giant that was supposedly found in Afghanistan in the mountains. I haven't heard anything about that, and they talk about it like it's all over the news. So this falls in line with a lot of the theories that I've heard about the Nephilim and about the aliens and stuff being Nephilim or being the descendants of. So, but apparently also they could live thousands or hundreds of thousands of years or whatever, or thousands of years. So it could be the same ones that were warring in ancient Sumer. Who knows? Or it could all be hogwash. I guess we'll find out one day when these things decide to let us know where they're from and who they are.
So we moved into this house about 10 years ago, and we always saw the news articles about a huge drug bust that happened in a secret room in this house. We have never found the secret room, nor have attempted to look for the secret room, but today was the day we found it. This is what happened.
Yeah, how long is this room? Yeah, there's something behind there for sure. I can't see anything. Oh my god, there is a room in there. Oh my gosh. I just fell. Whoa. Stuff in here. There's a bunch of stuff in here. Yeah. Let me try to get through. It's just like a whole room back here. And there's arcade machines. There's arcade machines, 3 of them. They're very old.
There's a closet.
30 years old, 40 years old.
I don't know. Yeah, and this Xbox, there's like newer stuff in here.
Just go out here and
This-
help me get the rest of the down so I can fit in there.
There's so much stuff in. There's like tools too.
Oh, hey, what is that? Where you were?
What are you talking about?
Right there, right there, right there.
What the? Oh.
At first I was like, hell yeah, they found a secret room in their house, and it's a full man cave. Dude found a man cave. They said they moved into the house 10 years ago, and they've been looking for this secret room, but then they go in there and they find Xbox One games. That doesn't make any sense. It certainly looked dusty in there, like the room had not been used much in a while. And then some little girl walks in at the end. It's like, what are y'all doing in my dad's man cave? Just another example of someone thinking they found a secret room and accidentally opened up into the neighbor's house. That's what it looks like. This is clearly a setup. They clearly put somebody in there, and that looks like fresh drywall that was just recently put up, and they decided to open it back up and film a TikTok. But guys, that's the end of this video. I'm going to go ahead and call it right there. I hope you guys enjoyed these clips. These were pretty good today. I really enjoyed them. I hope you guys will be here for the next one. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I hope to see you then. I hope you have a great, safe, fantastic day. I will see you tomorrow.